So I'm assuming you've heard of France, right? Croissants, baguettes, the Eiffel Tower. Well, today I wanted to look at one of the most unique and interesting regions in all of Europe. Nestled way up in the northwest of France lies a hilly peninsula that offers some of the most beautiful scenery and culture like nothing else in France. Welcome everyone to Brittany. Brittany's history, like most, spans millennia, with some of the world's oldest standing structures being located in Brittany, like the Cairn of Bretonnez, a nearly 7,000-year-old Neolithic structure dating back to 4000 BC. Our story takes us roughly back to the 4th century, when Celtic Britons living in modern-day Devon and Cornwall migrated across the English Channel to escape invasions from Germanic tribes like the Angles and Saxons that would later form England. These refugees would bring their Celtic-derived languages with them across the Channel, and over the centuries these dialects would mingle together to form the modern Breton language, which as a result is closely related to modern Cornish and Welsh. These Celtic peoples would unite together in various ways, first forming a kingdom and then a duchy in 939 AD. These dukes and duchesses would rule Brittany for nearly the next 600 years, albeit with varying degrees of independence. In 939, Alan II, also called Alan Twistedbeard, managed to repel an invading Viking force, becoming duke in the process and returning Brittany to an independent duchy until 942, when he ultimately paid homage to King Louis IV of the Kingdom of the West Franks, which would later become France. Fun fact, Alan and Louis were actually close allies and spent time together when they were both in exile in the court of Edward the Elder, the son of Alfred the Great, and Aethelstan, the first King of England. Brittany would eventually fall into French hands when their last reigning Duchess, Anne of Brittany, married the French King Charles VIII, and then his successor, Louis XII, in 1499. Brittany would remain in personal union with France until 1532, when it was officially incorporated into the French crown. But Breton culture would prevail, with their strong Celtic heritage being a hallmark of the region, and with Brittany being the only region of France where a non-Romance language was widely spoken until modern times. Unfortunately, only around 200,000 people still speak the Breton language fluently, with many of them being elderly and much of the younger generations increasingly being taught French as their first and only language. Today, the Breton language is considered severely endangered, but efforts to preserve it are underway and there is still hope for saving it. Nevertheless, Brittany and the Breton people remain one of the most fascinating areas of continental Europe, with their resilience and preservation of their culture being something that I greatly admire.